Hey everyone from 579, this is Gordon, and I'm doing my challenge forum response. There are a lot of challenges that face how we can connect community schools and parents, but the one that I chose it was actually the first one. It was parental involvement, parents not knowing how to help or support their students, cultural and societal diversity, teachers lacking skills to engage and teach students from diverse backgrounds, and lack of communication between community, businesses, and schools about how to better serve our schools. Um, I chose these basically because I feel like the majority of this class I'm going to relate back to my own personal experiences growing up in an area that was it was poverty stricken, and it was an area where academic was not the focus. As far as parental involvement goes, when it says parents not knowing how to help or support their children, I feel like that falls into a realm of we only have those kids for 8 hours a day, and we really initially don't know what kind of environment that they go back to. And then some parents where there will be some that totally neglect their child, or if they're not neglecting, they're trying to provide for their child and they're working to all hours of the night trying to do so. So they won't actually get to spend that time with with their child academically, or just being able to interact with them as their parents. And then there are parents, like it says, there's some that may not have an academic background and they don't know how to support their kids, or they feel uncomfortable trying to attempt to show those kids how to succeed academically, maybe, or to teach them certain skills or help them even morally develop. Um, as far as the challenge about the cultural and societal differences or diversity, um, a lot of I feel like this would have a great impact. I feel like there's a lot of young teachers that come down here to right out of college because this is one of these poor rural schools are the ones that no one wants to actually work at, but they can get their first jobs. Well, if you bring someone specifically from up north or somewhere to a really rural, poverty-stricken area, they may not be able to relate on a cultural level to anything that these children have experienced. Their lifestyles may be totally different, and they may not be able to have the necessary skills to connect to these students. Um, and for lack of communication between community, businesses, and schools, um, I feel like it's everyone's part in a community to engage and to serve their community, to provide an environment for young children or K through 12 to provide an environment that they feel safe, an environment that's conducive to benefiting them morally, academically, um, and just everyone should be a role model for these kids. And that's a lot easier said than done in a lot of areas, but I feel like if there was some kind of communication first from a school, like a school board, or maybe to get the community more involved. Maybe have like in certain towns have town days where all the schools are displayed and the community can come out and learn about the different things that they're doing at each school or different programs, and maybe something that they may not necessarily have a child in that school, but they may be involved or have some kind of specialty that they can offer to help these kids out and to teach the kids. Um, what recommendations do you have? Um, One thing about the cultural and social societal diversity I saw in one of my classmates' post, a lot of times now, not everyone that is coming into our school systems speak English. So a great post, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but they said that their school has like a parent orientation for non-English speaking parents or families. And I think that is a great tool that where that whole family would kind of be disadvantaged because they may not be able to understand or can follow their child's progress or be able to help them that program will help them, become more involved and become more aware of what their child does on a daily basis. Um, and also, I mean, maybe just to get parents more involved. I mean, everyone, parent teacher conferences. I mean, it's easier said than done. Maybe get some kind of email list or for parents that like to do that sort of thing, or just try to establish a connection with the parents and with the families right off the bat, so you can kind of get a sense and gauge where that child comes from, and you can develop on your next strategy to benefit that child and maybe go other routes and getting those parents on board to benefit the kids. With that being said, thanks for listening to my post.